Welcome to another Precon Power-Up with the Nitpicking Nerds.
Today we're upgrading the Ruthless Regiment deck. Swole stuff with just $50.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. If you enjoy doing things for the benefit of humanity, consider subscribing because we're humans.
Exactly. And besides, you'll want to be subscribed to this channel because our subscribers are 10% more likely to have a hunky planeswalker boyfriend.
Disclaimer guy here. Just want to say we can't guarantee you get a boyfriend, and we definitely can't guarantee he's a hunk.
Is that optional?
Nope, it's
Okay.
not.
I'm glad I'm not subscribed.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it replaces with hunky girlfriend.
Oh, it flips? Well, we didn't say
Yeah,
that.
for whatever you need.
Hopefully disclaimer guy has our back on that. And he stops talking about macaroni art or whatever he was talking about last time.
Yeah, he went on forever.
Nobody cares about him. We're just getting into what actually is a Precon Power-Up.
Precon Power-Ups are where we take a Precon, which is $50, and for $50 more, we upgrade it into a stellar awesome deck. This one is especially awesome.
So we've only looked at the Abzan one so far, because that's what we've done before this one. But as of right now, this is the best one.
And I mean, they're both really good, but this one is super awesome. This is a human tribal deck. It has so much going for it. And guess what? With all these Precon Power-Ups that we do, the total is under $100.
Yes, and you'll never have to spend less than $50 as of the video release on the cards that we suggest. So
Yeah.
People just getting into Commander, recommending a deck to a friend, you're just buying a Precon because you like them and you want to upgrade them. This is like your video.
So, BZ, who is the commander for this deck?
Well, thanks for asking, Joe. The commander for this deck is Jirina Kudro. She's the daughter of General Kudro, who, by the way, can't be in this deck, although it might be because the budget is too high. But what does she do? That's a great question. She is 1 and a mardu for a 3/3 human soldier. When she enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. Other humans you control get +2/+0. The best part about this is definitely the +2/+0.
It's so weird that she's worded for each time that you casted a commander from a commander.
A commander.
And I don't like...
Well, it's so that if she's in your 99, then it's like, oh, you get 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's just weird. So what's the best part, BZ? Now you can tell us.
Well, the best part is that humans get +2/+0. She makes a 3/1 guaranteed. Next time you play her, she's 6 mana, but she makes 2 3/1s. That's 9 power.
Yeah, we're beating in with these humans because what's the next game plan?
Oh, the next game plan is actually to go wide with an army of humans. That's literally Jirina's game plan in the lore, and that's our game plan in the respect of making a good deck.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a bagillion and a half humans, swarm the board, and create a lose-lose situation for our opponents.
It's not the best way to resolve a conflict, but sometimes, for them, it's lose-lose. For them and us, it's win-lose. Because either they're going to take lethal damage from our stuff, or they're going to blow up our stuff and then die.
Yeah,
We'll get
exactly.
into it. We'll get into why.
Yeah.
We'll get into why.
We'll get into why.
So to upgrade the deck, we have to take out the cards that just have no reason being in there. Cards that maybe they're for another commander, or WotC just wanted to print them out there, but they're not for this deck, so we got to get them out.
Yeah, because it's not synergistic. We like making decks that are synergistic because that's where you get more fun, in my humble opinion, and you get a more competitive deck because when the cards all work together, you really can do something awesome.
Yeah, way more power. So we're taking out Bonder's Ornament. It's just a mana rock that doesn't really do anything. It is so bad when you start to bring in other cards. Maybe it's fine for the Precons. The Impetus Cycle, we talked about this last video. I don't want to rehash this every time, but they're terrible. They're just not going to be good or as good as just another human. So get them out.
Not even close. Like, they're actually not comparable to like anything. Like,
Really, really bad cards for this deck at least.
I feel like I'd just rather have a 1/1 human for 1 than the Impetus Cycle.
Because it'd be a 3/1.
Yeah, exactly. That's much better than what that's doing. Next, Sanctuary Blade. What does Sanctuary Blade do?
The Sanctuary Blade, when you equip it, the creature gets protection from a color that you choose. We're not playing Voltron. We don't care about equipping one tiny soldier. We have a 5/1 with like protection from blue, and we attack the blue player. That just doesn't matter at all.
No, not at all. It's another weird card. It's just like they threw it in here for whatever reason. Outpost Siege. This is not a great way to draw. We're gonna have better ways. We'll go over them later. It's pseudo draw. It's just
If you're in black, you don't need it.
for sure. And if you're in a Boros deck or a mono red deck, consider this card black. Get it out of the deck.
Yeah, well, I'm not in for that.
Terminate is basically, in my opinion, just unplayable in Commander.
It's not unplayable. It just I guess it's unplayable, but not in the sense of this card's terrible. The card's really good, but it gets pushed out by so many better spot removal spells, or 2-for-1s, or board wipes, and it just doesn't ever make a cut.
Exactly. And the fact that they made WotC's cut, we're watching you, WotC.
Even on the budget, we don't want them.
We are watching them.
The last one, we cut Cleansing Nova. We pretty much cut all of the board wipes from this deck.
You don't want to be board wiping. You want to go wide. And I understand like the thought of like, okay, almost every deck wants a board wipe. Do you really want a board wipe when your whole plan is to throw your hand on the battlefield?
We're the ones who need to get board wiped. And then we just have defenses for if we do get board wiped, we're going to wreck people's lives. But we just have a bunch of spot removal. So if there's like, oh, there's an Elish Norn in play. Well, I'll kill it, but I don't have to kill all creatures.
Elish Norn is quite handily going to destroy
bad news. That's bad news for us, but we don't have to worry about that.
That's good lore, though. That's good lore because Elish Norn really destroys humans.
That is her favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and so when humans fight the fighter, it's not good.
So now that we have a bunch of slots free of cards that don't belong in this deck, we can bring in cards that do belong in this deck.
Yeah, so these are, oh my gosh, this first one, I love this card.
This card's great.
It's Machias the Lunarch. He's X white for a 0/0. He enters with X +1/+1 counters. You can tap him to put a +1/+1 counter on him, or you can tap, remove a counter, and put a +1/+1 counter on the rest of your team.
Just all your creatures. They don't even have to be humans, although they pretty much are all going to be humans. This is a cheap, versatile Anthem effect that permanently pumps everything.
I'm a huge fan of this card. It's because the other one also tells a good story with it. I love that he's fighting and then he's doing the opposite. He's like,
But he still cares about +1/+1 counters.
But he still cares about +1/+1 counters because he's Machias.
He's Machias. The next one we have is Sauron, Lord of Innistrad, or if you're Spanish, Sauron, Señor de Innistrad. He's 2 white black for a 3 loyalty Sauron. +1, make a 1/1 black lifelink vampire token. -2, create an emblem that says creatures you control get +1/+0. As -6 is you choose 3 creatures or 3 creatures or planeswalkers. You're only choosing 3 things. Blow them up and then you get them.
The real thing is, he always comes down. He can always make an emblem, and that lasts for the rest of the game.
I'm doing that every time. You're gonna go. I think you want to go emblem plus emblem. You're never trying to alt this. You're gonna just give your massive tokens. It's like an enchantment that's +1/+0, but they can't kill it. There's nothing that they could ever do. All of your creatures have more power now.
Yeah, and we says we don't in this deck. We really don't have a way to ever ult him early, so it's never gonna be able. Like, no one's gonna let him ult.
No.
It's like if you can't surprise ult with some sort of proliferate, then don't even try.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother.
Make those emblems.
He makes an emblem, then he makes a chump blocker, then he makes an emblem, and you are in business if you get 2.
Oh.
Because this deck goes super wide. We're making tokens. We're making humans. We're bringing humans back. We're playing humans en masse. We're tutoring for humans and playing more humans.
Humans. Okay. Next is Direfleet Daredevil. Another card I actually just love. It's 1 in the red for a 2/1 with first strike. It enters the battlefield. It exiles an instant sorcery from an opponent's graveyard. Then, using any color mana, you can cast that spell, which is awesome. And then, if it will go back to the graveyard, instead it goes to exile.
You're going to Snapcaster Mage somebody's stuff. That's what it should have said.
Exactly. It is like a reversal Snapcaster. It doesn't have flash, but you play it on your turn. You find the best thing. I don't know. I can't even think of like something. I'm trying to think and my mind's blanking.
Rise of the Dark Realms.
Awesome. We just 11 mana.
Every time. It happens every time. Don't worry about it. This card's really flexible and amazing. And it can let you even just cast like a Cultivate on turn 5.
Or even a Swords of Plowshare on something.
Sure.
Like, how solid is that?
You get a 4/1 first strike, and then their best creature dies with their own spell.
Ugh. Why do I like all these cards so much? What's this next one, BZ?
It's a Wombo combo that I can't believe was not in this deck. Handware Battlements, which is a land that produces colorless. Or you can pay red and tap it. Target creature gains haste. That's fine if we're putting out new humans. We've got a cool activated ability like Machias that we want to use right away. We also have Handware Garrison, which is 3 mana for a 2/3. When it attacks, you make 2 1/1 humans, 3/1 humans that are tapped and attacking. That's a bunch of damage out of nowhere. But also, Handware Battlements says you can meld it with Handware Garrison to create Handware the Writhing Township, which is a giant Eldrazi monster that creates 2 3/2 Eldrazi monsters tapped and attacking when it attacks.
It's super weird, but on the side of weird, it's super awesome.
It's actually, if your deck wants both of these cards, the flipped meld creature is actually really good. It's gonna smash somebody's face.
You don't need to get there, but if you do, it's awesome when you do.
Both cards are independently good. We care about humans. The tokens matter to us. The 2/3, it's fine, but it makes tokens. And the battlements, we want to give creatures haste.
Yeah, it's a token maker. That is exactly what you're saying. It's important because it's a human makes human tokens, that's what we're looking for.
Speaking of human tokens, can I interest you in a card that makes 3 different types of them?
This is Outlaw's Merriment. It's an enchantment for 4 mana, and I can't remember if it's 2 red or 2 white. What is it? It's 2 white. I knew it the whole time, and I didn't even have to ask BZ right now.
Agreed.
Yes. As being of your upkeep, you get 1 of 3 different human tokens chosen at random. The first one is a 1/2 that when it enters, it pings anything. The second one is a 2/1 with lifelink. The third one is a 3/1 with trample. All these have haste, so when they come down, they can attack right away. These tokens are everywhere. The 3/1s are going to have 5 power, 4 power for the 2/1s, 3/2s. The fact that 3/2s, come on.
3/2s flying around, they're flying at our opponents. It's Bitter Blossom, but for awesome human tokens. It's bitter, but awesome.
I like you. Almost botched it into something that wasn't going to be awesome, and then you said bitter awesome,
and then
now I'm happy.
And then I nailed it. All right, these are the next couple are like payoffs for just swarming the board. Like why does the board wipe hurt our opponents so much? Well, one reason is Judith, the Scourge Diva, just gives them no good choices. 1 black red for a 2/2. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Our creatures hit harder and they die better because when a non-token creature dies, she deals 1 to a target. They hit harder and they die better.
Die better is one of my new favorite things to say. They die better.
We have to say that, and then we have other sayings. We have to work them into more videos.
Die better is really good. But if you really want things to die better, you know who else does that?
Who?
Sir Conrad. 3 black for a 5/4, and whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere, a deck, a hand, I don't know, maybe the battlefield. That seems like a good one too. Each opponent loses 1 life. So awesome, so great. You can also pay 1 in the black to mill everyone's top card, but we're not too worried about that.
That's also awesome. If you have a mana sink that's just going to deal like 2 damage to each opponent for 2 mana, you just have 8 mana. It's like, all right, you guys take like 10. I didn't spend any cards on this.
There's a wombo combo in this later because it's also if a creature card leaves your graveyard.
We might have 1 or 2 ways to do that.
We definitely have one awesome way.
And one not so awesome way. And the last card is, I mean, I'm going to just say this is the best card in the deck because it's Thalia's Lancers. It's 3 white for 4/4 first strike. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a legendary permanent. How many of the things we just mentioned are legendary? We have Sir Conrad we can get. We can get Judith. We can get our commander if we let it go back into the library. There's any number of things. Mikaeus, Sauron. Just keep Thalia's Lancers in mind because whenever we say anything legendary, we have 2 copies in our deck.
Yes. Anything? Any legend?
Even lands. We don't have any lands, but I mean, if we did,
we'd have 2 copies.
And we're Battlements should be legendary. Stupid.
Maybe. I don't know. How many cities are really turning?
How many hand wares are there?
How many writhing townships are there?
Well, that card's legendary. I think. Maybe. Probably legendary.
Okay, so it's time to improve existing cards. So these are cards that are in the deck. They sort of do what we want, but they're not quite there yet. So we're going to take them, and we're going to turn them into way better versions.
Well, we're actually going to remove them from the deck and then put other cards in. Not necessarily using alchemy to turn
I don't
cards into better cards.
Do you think that's what they inferred from what I said?
I think that's the only logical conclusion.
Yes.
All right, so here's the cards we're cutting because I don't really want to read them because there's a bunch of them, but they're basically bad human synergies, and I think they included them just because they say human on them. Cavalry Pegasus gives 1 human flying. Dearly Departed has to be in your graveyard to give them counters. How are we doing that? I don't want a 6-mana 5/5. Riders of Gavany, you get to pick 1 creature type and then you're protected from it from humans? I don't know. Not doing that either. Titan of Eternal Fire lets your humans ping, but we would rather attack because they get +2/+0. Why would I want a 3/1 to just ping somebody for 1? I don't want that at all. And then Lockdown Sanctuary, it's okay. It's 2 and a white for an enchantment because it's a new card. Humans you control get +1/+1. You pay 2 and tap 2 humans to tap a creature. We're just jamming. We don't need to tap creatures. I don't think Anthem effects like that do nothing other than just pump your team are very good. Just play humans, make a bunch of them, smash them in the face because our commander says +2/+0.
Yes, we want to get in with these creatures.
I don't care if any of them die.
Yeah.
Maybe don't send the commander. Send everyone else every time.
Like, Riders of Gavany is a really strange one to me because it's like, unless you're matched up in, I guess, either a mirror match or some other, like, Varina deck, it's like, why do you want this?
What do you need it for?
You just don't. So what are some of the cool human synergies that we added to this deck?
Well, the synergies that we added, there's 2 of them there's really only 2. we don't have to go super hard on things that just laser focus in on humans, because there's plenty of cards that are just good enough to play in any deck that wants a bunch of creatures. Ours just happen to be humans. First one, these are human synergies though. Falcon Wrath Aristocrat. It's 4 mana for a 4/1 flyer with haste. And you can sacrifice a creature to make it indestructible until end of turn, but if you sacrifice a human, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. We have plenty of humans. This thing's going to be huge and unkillable.
It's unkillable, except obviously the exile, which does exist, but it gets in, it beats hard. It's got haste, which is great. I remember this card being a beating in standard.
Oh, this card was so good.
So you're always, any human that's going to get spot removed, you're just going to throw it into this.
Yeah.
If a board wipe comes along, you're playing Voltron now.
Yeah, playing Voltron. And if a board wipe does come along, not only is Falcon Wrath Aristocrat an amazing way to survive a board wipe, but Angel of Glory's Rise is like the best card that anyone could ever play in a human deck. It is 7 mana for a 5/7 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, exile all zombies. And also, return all human cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Something worth mentioning right now with other ads, this wins the game.
This card will probably win the game.
Tell them
so good.
Yeah, but tell them the combo.
This is the human version of Protean Hulk, honestly. So when it enters the battlefield, you're going to get back all your dead humans. If one of them was Fiend Hunter, and you have something like Falcon Wrath Aristocrat in play, well now, Falcon Wrath or Fiend Hunter is going to come in, exile Angel, okay, sack all your humans, sack Fiend Hunter, Angel comes back, brings all the humans back. If you have any enters the battlefield or dice triggers that deal damage, you have infinite of that and you win.
Just for what we had, just Falcon Wrath Aristocrat, Angel Glory's Rise, Fiend Hunter is at least that's a minimum infinite Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
It's an infinite Falcon Wrath Aristocrat, and we just mentioned Judith and Sir Conrad among other cards in this deck, like Vigilante Justice, which is already in there. Whenever a human enters, you deal 1 to something. Infinite. This is a $50 budget nonsense where the infinite combos are all like 25-cent cards.
It's great. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Sweet. It's not like this deck is only trying to do that. This isn't a combo deck. This is the best card in the deck, probably. Sorry, Thalia's Lieutenants. And when you play it, you're probably going to win.
I know it's funny. I mentioned that Riders of Gavany was great in the Verena matchup. Even better, Angels of Glory's Rise.
We don't even need Riders of Gavany for the stupid Verena matchup. We got that covered. They're done. Game over. Also, if we go infinite, it doesn't even matter that their zombies are there or not. That doesn't matter.
That is completely true. So fixing the removal slots now. Terminate, we got rid of. Unexpected Absence, also just, that's so random. It doesn't even...
I think that card is really good. But again, I think it's really good in white, red, or white. Once you have black, just like with card draw, it's like, I don't really think you need it anymore.
Yeah, I don't really understand this at all. So we have Heliod's Intervention, which is X, white.
The superior X, white instant.
Yeah, this card is awesome. You can destroy X artifacts or enchantments, or gain twice X life.
Pay 5 mana, 3 for 1. Kill the 3 best things in the field. I'm in. I'm in for that.
I've seen this kill 6, 7, 8, 9 things sometimes. It's insane.
We've done those things, and we've only been playing with the card for like 2 months. Yeah. And it's already just overperforming every time. Gives you so many options. Even just 3 mana destroy the one thing if you really, really have to.
Yeah. Wear and Tear, it's a fuse card. One side destroys an artifact, the other side destroys an enchantment. Simple, easy, great.
Why would I play Terminate when I can destroy 2 things like with Wear and Tear? Cards like that. Or Heliod's Intervention.
Yeah. Also, when you're in Mardu, why would you... there's no reason to play Terminate in my head, because you just go swords first, and then how many swords do you want?
Yeah, we didn't even have swords in this deck.
I'm just saying, well, that's just my thought.
Right, for like spot removal in my head, I'm like, Swords to Plowshares?
Yeah, if you're going just creature, you're going swords in Mardu.
Well, this deck, I think the reason swords isn't in there, because we have that card that says exile target creature. If you control a human, then nothing happens. But if you don't control a human, you lose life equal to its toughness. So it's just black, white, exile a creature.
Yeah, that card's awesome. And
that's why swords isn't in here, because we already have one. It's way cuter.
What's the next one, BZ?
Oh, the next one is 3 cards, because our spot removal can also be humans. It can actually remove something and contribute to our game plan. We already mentioned Fiend Hunter, but we also have Necrotal, which is a 4 mana 2/1 first strike. ETB, you tear or something, it's dead. Giant Killer goes on an adventure to kill a big creature and then comes out as a 1/2 that I've played in a mono white deck, and the tap ability is actually pretty sweet. Once you already get a spell, you already trade for a creature. Now you have a human, an ETB, a die, and it just taps their best thing. Oh, that's Sun Titan? No, it's not attacking.
Yeah. Infernal Titan that was going to kill my giant killer? No. I don't think
You don't kill the giant killer, okay?
It is pretty funny when it's tapping down a giant, like a Titan. Titans are or a literal giant if something is just a giant.
And it just goes, oh, Informer Titan, I'll kill it.
Gotcha.
What's the last one?
The last one is Playcrafter. This is a 3/2 for 2 and a black. When it enters, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. If they can't, then they discard a card.
Just the best version, and it just so happens to be a human. Awesome. I'm playing it. I love it. Amazing.
It's in the deck.
Why do you have to? Is that like you have to say that every one now?
Sometimes when you say something, it prompts me to want to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that you said or set me up for. I'll watch. Now that I'm going to be editing this, I'll watch for it. But there's something you said that set me up to want to say that.
Well, that's really exciting. But let's just get back to the deck technique for now. Maybe we'll come back to that psychoanalysis later. Ambition's cost is 3 and a black, draw 3, lose 3. Painful Truce is 2 and a black, draw 3, lose 3. That I'm cool with. No, we don't need that. We're going for a Ranger of Eos. 3/2 for 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for 2 creature cards, convert a mana cost to 1 or less, and put them into your hand. So it's divination, guaranteed 2 spells. I have a love for this card, but it's also really good. You can search for Mikaeus. We have Thraben Inspector, Mother of Runes, which I think is pretty sweet, protect our commander, and Bloodsoaked Champion, which can just keep coming back.
I don't know why. Well, I thought Bloodsoaked Champion was related to Mom, and you were going to say Bloodsoaked Mom. I don't want to deal with a Bloodsoaked Mom.
Does that mean Mother of Champions is the other one?
Mother of Champions. That sounds like an awesome card.
It does sound pretty
Like
cool.
she's like all of her like
Behind every great man
behind every great man.
is a Mother of Champions. And Direfleet Daredevil, which we already mentioned, but it's going to get back removal spells or card draw spells or ramp spells. It's so flexible.
Spells, baby. What's next?
So these next 3 that we took out are just like random
Okay.
aggro combat cards that I don't like at all. I'll let you tackle this one.
Yeah, I mean, Captivating Crew costs way too much mana to do anything. Frontier Warmongers,
Gives your creatures menace?
just go away.
Mhm.
I don't. Is menace that important? No,
No.
we have our creatures are disposable.
There's 30 of them. They don't need menace.
I mean, menace is good. I'm not arguing that menace is good, but I just don't care about it. Fumiko.
Forces your opponent's creatures to attack. As Bushido X.
I'm not worried about my opponent's creatures attacking.
There are no opponents. They're dead.
But this next one, so the cards we added that are way sweeter. Reverence, Hoplite. Did you know that it enters and equal to your devotion to white, you get 1/1 humans?
And it's a human?
What? That's so many humans. That's awesome.
Even if we're just making 4, that's 5 creatures for 5 mana. They all probably have an ETB. They all probably have a dice. They're all +2 power. So it's like, what is that? 5 creatures, 15 power for 5 mana.
So cool.
I want to talk about real quick the other card that I guess just goes right in this category, but we didn't add it. It was already in here. I mentioned there's a way worse way to trigger Conrad's ability. It's with Garner the Bloodflame. It's 5 mana 3/3 flash. Other creatures you control have haste, which is definitely the best part of that card. It's a human. And when it enters the battlefield, you get back everything that died this turn to your hand from your graveyard. So with Conrad, you're like, okay, sack my whole team, get it all back, you're dead.
There's another way to trigger Conrad. Once, Alesha. who
Oh yeah,
smiles at death.
Smiles at Death also included automatically. But I wanted to mention that because with something like Reveler and Hotblade, oh, my creatures have haste. Extra 15 damage.
Yeah, and like we already mentioned, we had a Bloodsoaked Champion, we had a Mother of Runes. These cards are sweet. Mom's Great Protection. Bloodsoaked Champion is a reassembling skeleton, which we've put in decks.
That card's great.
So I think a human version of a reassembling skeleton and deck that can take advantage of it.
This is going to be so good with that Skull Clamp that Wizards so generously included in this deck.
They did?
I didn't have to do it. It was already in.
Thank you, Wizards.
Thank you so much for saving us $4 on our budget upgrades. What's the last thing that a lot of people forget about when upgrading a deck?
When you go to these decks, I need you to be careful because everyone just goes, well, I'll just ignore the mana base. No, these mana bases, they tend to put too many lands. They tend to put way too many basics. So we're fixing that. And we're fixing it for not a lot of money. It's not like we're throwing hundreds of dollars to fix this. We're talking about
50.
We're
50 total. This was, I think, $10 or $12.
That's what I'm saying.
Just don't ignore the mana when you're trying to upgrade a deck. You have the base deck and it does your thing, but you want to do your thing sooner or with more consistency. I don't want 8 basic planes in my 3-color deck. So what do we do instead?
We cut 3 plains, 1 mountain, 1 swamp. The 3 gain life tap length. I am very much opposed
He's
to that.
off those. And if you're in a super budget, it's fine. If I had a budget upgrade of $15, I wouldn't cut them.
Yeah, and that's completely fair. And the 3 bounce lands, these are Beezy's ones that he's off.
It's actually reversed. I hate these lands because I think they're just so susceptible. Not that it matters now in Precon battles, but they're susceptible to hate. They're slow. They enter tapped. If you bounce a tap land, you feel like you're never going to get to play Magic.
That's not completely unfair. So what we added, when it comes to the 3 tap lands I always mention, the scry lands are so cheap. They've been reprinted enough times now that they're around $1 a piece.
Yeah, Temple of Malice, Temple of Triumph, Temple of Silence. They're all $1 or within 10 cents of that. They're super cheap. They're going to fix your draws. They're going to help smooth everything out in the first early turns or late game when you don't want to draw a land. Scry land to the bottom. That's essentially a draw card.
I love that we were able to adjust so well to like the difference between making a budget deck and making like one of our other decks, because when we had a whole conversation we had a whole episode about lands, and we talked about how we don't really like scry lands in 3-card decks, but this is different. You're on a budget. We're understanding that. So scry lands are great. They're
super good.
They're got to be one of the best coming to play tapped lands.
Yeah, I mean, if you're opening standard packs, you might just have these lying around, or if your buddy plays standard or you draft or something, these are just more readily available, even than something like the Shocks.
Yeah, exactly. It's super good. Handware Battlements, already mentioned. Tainted Peak, Tainted Field. We mentioned these last episode, but what they are is they're whatever color. So we have red, white, and we have red,
well, they're black, white, and black, red. There's no non-black
right.
Tainted cards. They enter untapped. They produce colorless. But if you have a swamp, they make white or black, or they make red or black.
Yeah, they're weird. This is a weird little like mini cycle they did.
They're just untapped duels, especially in budget. They're $1 a piece, or the other white-black one's 50 cents.
Yeah, awesome. Caves of Corlos, the Pain Land for Orzhov.
Yep, they had the Boros one already in there, and the allied color ones are still too expensive to play in budget stuff. So
they should put it. This is the perfect chance to reprint them, but who am I to tell Wizards what to do?
I don't know the reprint logic. I don't want to get into it here. I was thinking we do a whole video at the end after we do all the decks, talk about them.
Yeah. Canyon Slough. This is the cycling land. It's red-black.
It's also a swamp mountain.
Swamp mountain.
Because that's extra value for your Tainted Peak and Tainted Field.
I don't like the word tainted.
Jeez. Castle Embereth is the last one. I had a couple extra flex dollars, and I saw this one. I was like, this seems pretty good. It's a red land that enters untapped if you control a mountain, and you can pay 1 red, tap it. Your creatures get +1/+0. Just another anthem on a land.
That's all I got. I didn't have anything else. I just had a thumbs up for you.
You just had a snap and a thumbs up.
What is commentary? How do I do it?
No, we're famous already. We don't need to do commentary. We just coast on our medium success. Speaking of medium success, our budget was $50. We spent $48.91 according to TCG Player at the time of this video's release. Obviously, when everyone watches this video, it gets thousands of views, the price will skyrocket. So you better go to tcgplayer.com in the description to get all your stuff now. But the original CMC, going back to what I was actually talking about, was 3.25, super low. We cut it down to 3.03, so this deck's even cheaper, which is why we could shave a couple lands.
Yeah, so what was the total number of changes? 36. That tends to be around the number, somewhere between 30 and like
40. We've never done 40, and we've never done 30, but it's always in between there.
Yeah, so that's where the changes tend to fall, because there's a lot. When you're working with $50, $1 cards are the average one you get to put in.
I would say 50 cents is pretty much the average, and then you splurge for a couple $3 like powerhouses.
It's not how averages work.
And then it ends up averaging something like $1, but
your average math was awful.
Darn it. Well, let's talk about things that are not this deck tech, because we're done with this deck tech, and I thought it came out amazing, and this deck is super strong.
This deck is awesome. Humans is a great archetype. I love humans. I know they've made too many, and it's an overprinted creature type, and I am slightly annoyed that in the set focused on beasts and monsters that humans is a focus.
It's like 1/3 of the set is humans.
It's like, but that's neither here nor there. That's not a major complaint or anything. But if you want to support us, you can be a supporter with our other 52 patrons on patreon.com/Nitpicking Nerds. They're all awesome. They're all the greatest people that ever lived.
They're tied.
Yeah, obviously.
Above us.
And we love them as much as we can without making them uncomfortable, because we respect boundaries.
We do. And I mentioned the TCG Player link in the description, which you can click on and navigate anywhere on the site. Buy cards for yourself, and then it just supports us for free. You don't spend any extra money. Also, you can go to buymecoffee.com, which is a digital tip jar. You throw $3 in the tip jar, and we get $3 out of the tip jar. Well, great.
All right, quick tidbit about our life.
Ooh, a tidbit? We didn't do one last time. I don't really have one. We didn't use the gravy boat this episode. Quick, get it.
Quick. This tidbit is gravy on the video.
Hey.
Hey, we
For
did
anyone
it.
who wanted to see that, we brought it out this time.
This is, I am, we haven't officially named it, but I'm really liking the name Phil.
PHIL. But it's also like Phil.
Phil, you can put gravy in it, you fill it.
That's our tidbit. We just found it out.
I'm just going to call it Phil forever. This is Phil.
Official name. That was a tidbit. That was like a legendary tidbit because we just made channel history.
You know what, Phil? I'm going to let you say peace out, Tribe Scout.